The Babylonian logs, also known as the Babylonian scrolls, were a series of texts which were recovered from 1955 to 2008. The texts were made up of multiple different volumes, of which were found in different geographical locations that spanned continents. The logs were dated back at least 2,000 years. There were 7 overall volumes of the logs, but as of now, only 5 volumes were recovered. The founders of these logs all ended up dead. Most had committed oof and were found in the most disturbing positions. Others went missing. They still have not yet been found. One of the remaining 2 volumes is rumored to be located within the Vatican's secret archive. However, one must require explicit approval to enter the library, and even then, outsiders were barred from browsing the full event of the archives. Researchers are baffled as to where next the other volumes could be located. They theorize it may be on the Australian continent. The last 2 texts' whereabouts were still unknown to this day. What's even more baffling was that through the volumes of parchment and ink were dated back to the same time period. The volumes were written in a language relative to the geographical location of where they were found. This is impossible as most of the languages simply did not exist during the period of scroll creation. This has forced many scholars to question the authority of the scrolls. Found hidden in the underpocket of the volcanic rock during the construction of the McMurdo Station of the south tip of Ross Island, Antarctica. Buried under the El Troyo's feet, within the Cerro Rico mines, Bolivia, South America. Unearthed at the unmarked grave on the Coconut Island, United States, North America. Of course, that's where Volume 1 and 4 are. Volume 7 is looted from the previously unopened tomb located in Tunla Galbo, Egypt, Africa. Volume 5, stolen from the library of the Dirpak Monastery, located at the foot of the Mount Guelph, Tibet, China, Asia. The logs were all transcribed as one translated for one of the ease of access to anyone who wants to read. Make them all that you wish, as no one would ever piece together as what they mean, and what's even more difficult is due to the 2 missing volumes. The quality of the scrolls has severely impacted readability in some volumes. In Volume 1, the years as sent a stone shall help conceive the only pain, strongholds will burn. Cottages will burn as well as their shiny silver variants. Truly exhaled terror upon its citizens. Skin shall be rendered crispy and charred, revealing deposits of ivory powder that contain fractures of brittle stone. The eyes witnesses beyond recognition as the ultimate depth. Manic pleas will fall upon deaf ears as jaw contorts, ripped at the joints, consumed. The trinity of the mark of death. Teeth will be replaced in rows, perfect circles, their tongues for centuries. The false king shall have his crown of gold, and the weight of his lies shall met with the cranium, fusing the minerals to his organs in order to clasp his soul. The gates of the Babylonia will close, locking its unintelligible. The children will writhe within the streets from fear as their parents are snatched and exhaled. Shall the laugh as the parents are rounded into the center to be torched. Those children should be made to walk across the scalding rocks, defying the temples within their king until their screams satisfied exhale. Volume 2. A stark bought in the eve of the 55th solstice. Citizens fled towards the coast in search of nourishment. Many a village were raided and women were taken. Women were born disfigured. Children exhaled, required to spawn to be sacrificed. A plague is as dark as the orifices of the victims' decades. Excrement prevents the streets with attracting rats to feast on droves. Veins bulge and blacken under pale skin. Legs swelled and fingers decayed, unveiling to the bone at the tips. Full sailed across the reservoirs, disturbing the children of the land, and bringing with them the disease and suffering. The heralds of the New World preach sacred texts into the poison for centuries. The exiled shall pursue preparations for the destruction caused, for only he is allowed. The descendants of these tyrants paid gratefully for their fathers' misdeeds, which resulted in countries of wars, feminine and rise of the new enemy that resides the unintelligible accessible to this. Intermission precedes the final cut, authorized to be exhaled, diminished to cloak the expanse of eternal darkness. The exalted uses of flesh domain to engage the disciples. The master of the rain is the sea. He is the stars, as well as the night. Virgins required to round it around a cautelist. When the cracking of bones is heard, ignore the screams of virgins. They were made to suffer. His entrance will be granted and awaited by the children of the land who limp to their charred feet. The prime candidate of whom he is with the child shall consume their offspring. The remains will be cast into the wild for the creatures to feast. No human should dare consume the tainted flesh of their deceased, with their skin will crumble from their bones, and their soul will be thrown into the damnation. The flaunting riches shall infect the mind to make no mistake. These visions, unintelligible, otherwise shall be the condemn of the traitor to this clan, and will reside the atmosphere forever out of sight. When a punishment is seized, the affected shall be cleansed with pure blood. He will round up the children from the streets and grasp the innocent. He shall pour the offering into the stomachs of the tortured. This is his gift to us, and an unintelligible shall be paid in full. Where rings of intelligible shall convey the peace to the exhaled. He is the judge, the jury, and the executioner. In your cease of royal court, where berries grow fruitfully, and of course, the devil's fruit, the woman that challenge the beauty of these fruits shall have their luscious hair ripped directly from their scalp. They shall be rendered with the barren to curse, to be ridiculed by man. The souls of the false kings shall caress with their ears and for a lifetime, acknowledging the lies that these idols will tell to drive these women into madness. The souls that are tainted with woman steel shall premeditate the pure blood court, leaking into the land, cease by the living. The exhaled shall release from the 15 heralds of the archny of the first chapter of gospel. Their legacy shall proceed for them for decades and for centuries. N12 1537. GK 8.18.1227. 12.14.76. CC 520.1506. 3.18.1584. MFRIR 728.1794. 12.17.1909. AH 4/20/1945. 9/9/1976. SRMK 6/3/1989. KIS 7/8/1994. PP 1998. IADO 8/16/2003. SHAAMAT 12/30/2006. DJT free 25/2036. The first act is written to be set in stone, followed shortly after, he shall be.